much doggone work as it took. Oh, there go the camera. Look, y'all can tell this for this episode 1. Shout out to Funky Dineva. Hold the line. Wait, hold on, y'all. Hold on. How I turn this around? Let's start this over. Woo. Trying to get all this set up. Hey, my people, how y'all doing? How y'all feeling? We are officially spilling some ink, okay?
Hearts alive, angels sing, voices rise, the prophets ring. In the shadow, truth unfolds.
This is officially episode 1 of Spilling the Ink. I am your host, V. Marie. Welcome. Today's subject matter is faith without applause, and I want to talk about what it took to even get this set up, to do the microphone check, to do the video check, the audio check, to make sure we have the soft box and understanding field lighting, backdrop lighting, and doing all the research and all the things to even start in something that I say I want to commit to. I feel like the efforts that happen behind the scenes are the efforts that count the most. So who are you without your title? When it comes to everyone that's doing things for the sake of an applause, recognition, attention, you've gotten into whatever it is you're getting into with the wrong foundation and format first. So, what is it for you when it comes to pursuing your goals, pursuing your vision? Is it just for recognition? If that's the case, what are you going to do behind the scenes when nobody's clapping for you? What do you do in those dark hours where you have to study by yourself, invest that money by yourself, step out on faith, press through fear by yourself, make decisions to stay committed to being consistent, to growing in personal development and brand development? What do you do and how do you show up for self when it comes to faith without an applause? When it comes to striving for your goals without recognition? Again, I ask, who are you without your title? Are you a committed person? Are you someone that stands on moral values? Are you someone that stays committed to the process, that pursues the structure, strategy, and plan? Are you someone that still shows gratitude even when things aren't working out? If not, that's something that definitely needs to be added to your catalog of things to do when it comes to conditioning yourself as a profitable champion, as someone that's committed to the vision, as someone that's clear on their goals and their pursuit of purpose. How do you show up for yourself, and not only yourself, but your audience and your community when no one's clapping for you? When no one understands really what it looks like on the other side of your vision, of your goals, of your dream? What do you do when no one even understands it? No one wants to support it. Do you stay committed? If so, how do you achieve that? If you haven't achieved that, I want to go over 3 tips today that help us stay committed to our goals so that we can stay consistent to doing the good thing, the hard thing, when no one is there to applaud us on. Take away all the power from someone clapping for you for a second. And I need you to hone into the purpose and the pursuit of such. So, number 1, make sure your faith supersedes your fears. When it comes to me starting out in business, it's not like I came from a background of people that had it all figured out. I didn't come from a family that had the blueprint to business. We didn't speak on conversations at the dinner table that helped me to pursue purpose. I came from two hardworking parents that, of course, had their setbacks, but they were hard workers and they were faith-based, God-fearing people. But when it came to them helping to guide me as far as the direction of pursuing my goals, my dreams, my visions, some of them that, they didn't understand. Of course, they still tried to support, but there was no guidance because it was a world that just kind of went over their heads. So when I say making sure faith supersedes the fear, it's because there were a lot of times when I had to sit by myself and I had to pursue a thing that I did not have that blueprint to, but I still had to stand strong in my confidence. And where does confidence come from? Confidence is merely what you build from repetition. Confidence is an assurance from experience. And in order for us to build confidence as leaders, as business owners, as community development partners, at whatever it is that your pursuit is, whether you're a coach, whether you're in ministry, any level of leadership, you need confidence. When it comes to building profit, it is stemmed from confidence. People trust confidence. People like confidence. People are familiar with what confidence looks like versus someone that's not so certain about whatever problem they solve or whatever product or service they're offering. So how does your confidence look? And we can have sheer confidence if we understand how to supersede fear by faith. Faith alone is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And when we break down hope, hope is a confident expectation. So going back to confidence in business, confidence in self. We can't really be clear on where to take the business if we're not clear on the end goal for the customer. We can't be clear on where to take the business if we're not clear on the end goal for the client, who we serve, what problem we solve, what our mission is, and honestly being clear on who we are as a person in the first place. So when it comes to stepping out on faith, honing into who God calls you to be is ultimate when building the foundation of faith. Substance of things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. If I have substance from a thing that I hope for, which is confident expectation, that means I've given formation to something that I am confident in because I expect something or someone to show up in a way. So when it comes to God, for instance, if He is the head of my life and I'm expecting Him to fine tune and orchestrate a plan over my purpose, I have to be confident in that. What did I say confidence comes from? Experience. So if I haven't experienced God, how can I be confident that our relationship is strong enough for Him to see me through in order for my faith, substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen, to be strong enough to say, in spite of me not having the blueprint to this business thing, in spite of me not being clear yet, Lord, I trust you. I trust you with the vision you gave me. I trust you with the inclination that you gave me in my spirit. I trust you with that thing that I hear so clear or I envision in my mind from day to day. I trust you. You can't trust something you hadn't spent time with. If you can't say amen, say ouch. So if I am expecting something from a thing with sheer confidence, confident expectation, meaning I am hopeful that it is going to move on my behalf, I have to spend time getting to know it. I have to spend time building a relationship in order to trust it. So how much time are you spending with God becomes the question. Because if God is not the foundation of the faith, then the faith can't supersede the fear. And if the faith can't supersede the fear, then it's very hard to stay committed to being consistent, to showing up for yourself or your brand. Because we aren't even clear on what our driving force is to stay committed in the first place. We aren't even clear how to make sure we make a pact with God first instead of these opinionated people we tend to depend on in our day-to-day lives. I wonder why is that? Number 2, when it comes to showing up without the applause, building off of point number 1, it still deals with confidence. So that means we have to get our reps in. What do I mean by that? Caring about yourself enough to show up for yourself with a structured schedule every single day that results to your growth. Showing up with a consistent schedule every single day. And I'm talking about time blocks. I'm talking about whiteboards. I'm talking about journaling. I'm talking about advisory boards, accountability partners. I'm talking about all the things. I'm talking about even your health regimen. All of these things form an ecosystem that develops either if you're going to be profitable or not so profitable. If you're going to be consistent and disciplined or not so consistent or disciplined. It's all up to you. But it first starts with believing in yourself enough to know that you are worth having a structured schedule. You may be making content, but your content is lacking strategy. You may think that you're consistent, but is your consistency showing authenticity? Hi, my name is V. Marie, and I am the CEO of Panther Inc., where I help women like you strive and conquer when it comes to making sure you create a lane in your industry where you have so much creativity connected to it, there's no competition. How do we do that? We make sure we commit, we make sure we build clarity, and we make sure we are consistent when it comes to our authenticity toward our audience and our brand's mission, vision, and values. I want to help you build a brand message that compels, attracts, and converts to profit. We need to be able to help people understand not only who we are so that they can be committed to knowing, liking, and trusting us, but we also want to make them loyal and committed when it comes to wanting to join our communities, buy our products, and really lend into our services. I want to help you step by step gain this for your business in your industry. So if you are someone that needs help with all of the things that I've mentioned, make sure you go to officiallyvmarie.com so that we can connect. So if you're looking forward to this, then I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Love and light to each and every one of you. And until next time, it's your girl V. Marie with Panther Inc. I'm out. We overlook something so minuscule. We overlook something because we're thinking, oh, we can shift on the schedule, or, oh, I don't feel like dealing with that today, or, oh, whatever the case may be. Not realizing that once you start applying inconsistency and chaos to your day-to-day schedule, it will reflect in everything you do. If you said that you're going to record on Fridays, know that you are worth enough. Not only you, but know your community is worth enough to pursue that, to stay committed to that. Because honestly, when we can't stay committed to ourselves, how are we going to show up consistent for the business, for the community as a whole? If we can't stay committed to ourselves, that is a direct reflection of our self-esteem. It is a direct reflection of the level of doubt we have in ourselves. And then it also leaves room for making excuses in other aspects of our lives. So we really got to put ourselves in check when it comes to not being committed to the consistency, because that's what separates the generic from the champions. That's what separates the ones that can build momentum to a breakthrough versus the ones that are just dreamers. You don't want to be just a dreamer. You want to be the person that executes and executes with a standard that stays committed to you. So I challenge you today by saying, write down what your day to day looks like. What are you responsible for? And then figure out what you need to take action on versus what you need to delegate or eliminate. And when it comes to whatever is left on that list, categorize it in time blocks. Maybe you're more available on Mondays and Sundays from 10 to 2. What can you fit in that leads to your end goal from 10 to 2 on Monday through Sunday? You see what I'm saying? I hope you're following me. And last but not least, number 3, when it comes to making sure you show up when nobody's clapping. It brings me back to growing up in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. When you're the one that stands out in your family, but you're not really sure why you're always the one that stands out in your family. I remember growing up always wanting to be accepted by family members, wanting to feel the love, wanting to feel the covering, wanting to have that large family feeling. But I always was the one that nobody seemed to understand. Nobody wanted to include when it was time to have the birthday parties and the celebrations. I wasn't the phone that was ringing. My phone always tends to ring when people are in trouble, when people need prayer, when people need a guide, when people need advice, when people need something that feels secure. See, I was the one that people would always lean into, would be comfortable enough to ask to lend to them in some way or another. And I always felt like showing up for people helped to show me my value. Showing up for people made me feel that inclusiveness that I always yearned for. See, my parents worked a lot. They worked hard. My brother was a busybody growing up. And so I was kind of left to try to fit myself in wherever I could. Or when people would make time to be around, I would feel like I needed to avoid making them inconvenienced by me. So I would just insert wherever they had availability. But that type of movement kind of causes abandonment or dismissal issues or whatnot. So I always leaned into however I could transform someone was a direct reflection of my worth. How I can help someone heal, how I can help someone strategize, figure out their problems, or even just root people on. When I saw a turning point for them, or they got excited, or they felt fulfilled, it would be a direct reflection to me like, okay, you are worthy, you are received, people do want you around, you are enough. But what do you do when you are growing up and you are trying to start a career and you are trying to build a brand and you are trying to come up with that personal brand, that unique identity, staying authentic to yourself? What do you do when it is so hard to dig into who that true person is inside of you? That's why it's so important to understand God is so vital on this walk when it comes to personal and brand development. God is so vital. And I had to figure out that attaching my value to the transformation of people limited myself when it comes to discovering who I am authentically. Because people are not God. We're the little gods. We got one big omnipresent God. And that omnipresent God is the one that holds the power to reveal my true potential, my true reflection, my true purpose, not man. So when I started to strip the layers of dismissal, abandonment issues, neglect issues, all the things, I started to discover the blank canvas that I had to work with. And it's like, okay, V, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, start to accept yourself. Start to receive everything that comes with your package. Start to dig into those broken places and heal those spots that's keeping you from showing up for yourself authentically. And once I got comfortable with that, I reflected that vibration to the world. And that's what drew my clients. That's what drew the people that were ready to book the clarity calls, that were ready to really work with me, that wanted to onboard with me for brand development, all the things, the coaching program. That's how I grew. When I finally decided to say, I'm going to stay true to who I am and the purpose that God has on my life. So I challenge you to show up for yourself and ask yourself, when was the last time you had a self check-in to make sure you were still showing up authentic? Or are you operating in imposter syndrome? Imposter syndrome can be a slow killer when it comes to development for the long haul. Sometimes we put unnecessary pressures on ourselves trying to be something we are not. We put titles on ourselves to try to mask the broken places. Sometimes we get these titles because we are appeasing other people. You may have had that mother or father that was like, oh, you have to be a doctor. But really and truthfully, you knew you wanted to write children's books. Or maybe you wanted to be a dancer or a cupcake artist or whatever the case may be. But family members didn't think it was good enough. And they left an ugly stain on you, a stain on your brain, an impression on your life since a child, saying that you had to be a certain thing to be received, loved, accepted, appreciated, all the things that we yearn for as human beings. Well, I'm going to challenge you in that area today and let you know when it comes to number 3, as far as being diligent to be able to make it through without the claps and applauses, stay true to you unapologetically. Work on digging through those places where people left ugly stains on your life. And make sure you go and seek out what God shows you as your reflection and walk in that in honesty. Let that be the thing that builds the principles, the foundation of how you walk, talk, think, speak, teach, how you lead. Many are called, but few are chosen. So when it comes to the chosen ones that God has set on this earth to pursue a mission, we have to stay true to that, committed to that, trust the process even when we don't understand it. So I hope that the 3 pointers that we discussed today help you to thrive, because it's going to take agility, it's going to take commitment to self, it's going to take consistency to be able to stand for your brand and yourself when the lights go off, when no one is clapping for you. You have to be committed to the promise. You have to be committed to staying diligent. You have to be committed to growing in philosophies. You have to be committed to your moral values. You have to be committed to a structured schedule in your life. Make sure you go and explore the links below. Make sure you stay tapped in. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. I'm out, y'all. Peace.